Welcome to Distilled. I'm Brian Johnson, joined by the one and only Cathy Norton today. Hi, Cathy.
Hi, I'm so excited to be here with you.
Oh, it's good to have you. Now, a little background. Cathy is a former host on ShopHQ, and now she's a guest for a certain brand we're going to talk about. But when I was first trained as a host, you trained me.
Well, and look what a good job I did, right?
Well, I did the best I could.
We love working together, that's for sure.
Oh, so much fun. Now, Cathy, one of the first things I want to talk about, you're from Eden Prairie, and
Yes.
I am an import, and I love it. And I think it couldn't be more aptly named. Can you tell us a little bit about Eden Prairie?
It's funny because the studio is located in Eden Prairie, Minnesota, and I grew up in Eden Prairie, Minnesota. So as sad or as enchanting as it might seem, I have grown up in the same 8-mile square radius for my entire life. And what is crazy about that is that this used to be a farm town. So the back end of our house backed right up to a pig farm. And so it was this really small town, kindergarten through 12th grade in the same school. Now the high school is got graduating classes of like 1,100 people. So it is, I've watched it just grow, and it's turned into this, cosmopolitan suburb. But I'm still just a farm girl at heart. So it's a really cool place, great place to grow up.
Oh, a great place to live.
Yeah.
It is just gorgeous.
Do you love it?
I do. We came from California, as you know, and we love the outdoors. We covered all of California, so we're so excited to cover Minnesota. And Eden Prairie, there's a lake at every different beautiful lake at every turn, and there's paths so you can see it all. It's just incredible.
Well, we're happy to have you.
Well, thanks. Great to be here. Okay, so let's talk about what brought you to home shopping.
Okay, it's a super weird story, and of course they always are strange. The television is a strange business. So I was on TV, and that was also a strange way that I got there. So a local news channel needed an interior designer to go and do sort of like little gigs on how to decorate your mantle or, what kind of paint to use. And so my sister-in-law actually reached out to me and said, can you do this for my mom's company? She doesn't want to do television and she's kind of retiring. And I'm like, okay, I'll do it. So I was on several years actually where I would do Saturday mornings, Sunday mornings, and we called it in the backyard at Care 11, which is the local NBC affiliate here. And lo and behold, one Saturday, someone at ShopHQ was watching, but back in the day it was Shop NBC, right? So they were watching and they called the television station and said, who is the girl that talks super fast? And they said, oh, that's Cathy Norton. They didn't know my name, they just knew that I talked super fast. And so they called me and it was out of the blue. I honestly had never heard of Shop NBC at the time because it was many, many years ago. And then they called and said, can you come on in? So I came in. I had no interview, no like on camera training. They said on Saturday you're going to come in and you're going to guest home shows. So just talk about what you know, which is interior design. We're going to sell rugs, or we're going to sell dishes, or we're going to sell whatever there is, right? But that was 17 years ago, and the rest is history, right? So yeah, home shopping history. I'm kind of one of the originals over at Shop NBC. Yeah.
Well, you don't look like you've been home shopping more than 2 years.
Well, I'm telling you.
Straight out of college.
Yeah, we won't talk about that.
Okay, Cathy, so tell us a little bit about your experiences as a host at ShopHQ and then your transition to where you are now.
Well, funny thing is, I still remember my very first item I sold, and it was super glamorous. It was a hedge trimmer. And so I actually did trimming. I trimmed a hedge inside, which you have to really fake it to make it there. And it was interesting. So that was so many years ago and so many different things. But I will tell you, Brian, and you'll agree with me, every single day is different. Every day is different. Every show is different. You have to study, so it's like learning a new language every single day. One day you're selling beauty, the next day you're selling watches, the next day it's fashions, it's dishes, whatever it is. So there's never a dull moment. And so I think that that's sort of the day in the life of a host, right? Is that you gotta be quick on your feet, and I love it. It's shopping, it's like my second language. It's the mothership is anywhere you can shop. right?
It's a real buzz, right? I mean, it's live. You never know what's going to happen. No mistakes happen. And you're like, oh, it's live television.
The bloopers are the best, aren't they?
They are so much fun.
So what was your biggest blooper? I got to know.
Oh, my biggest blooper was probably I flew a drone into a guest's face.
Yeah, that will do it.
Yeah, it was kind of bad.
Yeah. Any blood or stitches?
No stitches, thankfully, and it was, it was first running, and it was a she. It was wanting to see if she was okay, and the crew was laughing. I was like, let's gotta see if she's okay first, and then laugh.
I think I'll never forget my biggest blooper too was it involved Heather Hall, who is another host there, and Heather and I were selling Christmas decor together, and for some reason, and I wish I could tell you exactly what it was that triggered it, but for some reason we both got the case of the giggles where you can't look at each other because you'll start to cry laughing, and so she literally walked off set. She's like, bye-bye, just walked off set, left me there, and I'm like trying to talk, and everything I would say would crack because it was just the sobbing, crying, laughing, and it went on for like 5 minutes. I mean, the producers are saying in my ear, you gotta get it together, Cath, come on, you gotta pull it together. I'm like, it was like an 8th grade giggle fest. So that was one of my biggest bloopers. I literally couldn't get it together.
That happens.
It does happen.
Sometimes you just get the giggles and you can't stop. And the fact that you're trying not to laugh
It's the
makes it
worst.
like just worse.
I mean, it brought me back totally to Ms. Wallenberg's 8th grade English class, getting yelled at in the back row because I couldn't stop giggling, right? I don't know.
And there's such joy to it too, though, because you're having fun and you're in the moment. And
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that accountants don't just burst out laughing and cry laughing. So yeah, we have a good job.
And speaking of drinking,
Yes, cheers.
cheers. Ooh. Now we are once again at our neighborhood watering hole, the Flying Dutchman. I am enjoying, now today we're drinking mocktails. Cathy and I are currently just drinking non-alcoholic beverages. I'm having the pineapple upside down cake. Cathy, what are you drinking and what's that mug all about?
Well, this is called a Smexy Mule. Crazy enough.
That makes sense, Cathy.
It's like a Moscow Mule. So, can you hear that?
I do.
That's enamelware, and so your Moscow Mule is usually in copper, right? So ours is enamelware, and it's from McKenzie Childs, which just happens to be my new home. So I'm really excited that we were able to bring McKenzie Childs into the Flying Dutchman because everything tastes better out of Courtly Check, which is, of course, our signature.
There you have it. And while we're at it, tell us your social media. Where can we find you?
So Cathy Norton TV is what my Instagram account is, also what my Facebook account is, and you can, of course, find me on a lot of ShopHQ's social media, as well as McKenzie Childs' social media.
Oh, I mean, what a perfect fit.
Why do you think that? I'm curious.
Because it just seems like McKenzie Childs is all about, it has this certain je ne sais quoi that makes it so, it's popular for a reason. And it's just a perfect marriage because your personality, you're so warm and engaging, and when you talk, people want to listen. And your laugh is infectious. You're infectious. As is McKenzie. It's a good fit that way.
Well, McKenzie Childs is this crazy brand. So after working at the network for all these years, I fell in love with this brand. And what happened, true story, there was a rabbit hole. And I literally walked up to the rabbit hole, fell right in, and ended up in this whimsical world called McKenzie Childs, and there was no getting out, right? Everything is happy and bright colors and patterns and fun, and their entire mantra is spreading sunshine and spreading love and spreading happiness. And you know my mantra, spread the love. So you're right, it was kind of a match made in heaven.
I'll drink for that.
I'll drink to, cheers again.
Cheers again.
And you always have to take a sip, otherwise it's bad luck.
I hear.
So here's a real behind the scenes little piece of information. In the producer's booth, it looks like a control tower. Seriously, there's more buttons and it's just crazy. Everything's lit up. Like it just looks like a Christmas tree in there, right?
Hey, maybe we'll get Ben to insert a shot here.
Ooh, yeah. Ben, best in the biz. So, yeah, he's behind the camera. Hi, Ben. But here's the deal. So there is a red button, and the red button is sort of a delay that the producer can actually press down if something slips out that you shouldn't say, or a caller calls in and says something that was maybe not exactly television appropriate. The later the evening on the weekends, the more often that red button gets used. But I've got a question for you, my friend.
Certainly.
So, have you ever been red buttoned?
Yes, I have. Would you like to hear?
Yeah.
Okay. This one evening on Bulldog, midwinter, it was a huge snowstorm outside, and I opened the show, and I was like, "Welcome to Bulldog. I'm Brian Johnson. Hey, let's take a look outside. A little bit of weather happening." And I pulled up the garage door, and it was like the wind came in, the snow came in. I was like, "That? We're not going out in this. Thank God we're in the studio tonight." Okay, Cathy, tell us about one of your instances.
One of our directors, Tom, he thought it was super funny that I was on the floor, literally sitting on the floor on a rug, and he just kept the camera on me, just like trained on me. And he knew that I could not just like get up like a yogi out of my sitting position, right? So he just kept the camera there just while I'm struggling to get up off my hands and knees off the floor to get back into my standing position. And I kind of gave him like, Tom, and right on live television. So it happens. We're people.
Well, and there's one thing we haven't talked about.
I thought we already talked about After Dark.
We did. Now, what about you're an athlete? Well, I dare say we're both athletes, but I want to talk about your athletics. Now, what do you do outside of here for fun? And, maybe cover a quick history of Cathy Williams' athletics.
Wow. Back in 1978, I actually started one of the very first girls softball teams in Eden Prairie. So I was a softball fast pitch pitcher. Try saying that fast. Softball fast pitch pitcher. I was a downhill skier. I still am a downhill skier. I ski race when I can, so that's great. Played tennis. Took that up when I was 40. But now I've transitioned to pickleball. It's awesome.
So
Pickleball's the best. I just played it last night. I loved it. So fun. I do love yoga, but my current weird obsession right now, besides pickleball, is I do what's called alpha. Alpha is kind of like boot camp, so you roll big tractor tires, you climb ropes. It's like gym class for adults. Fun. So I've been doing that, and I do a lot of cross-country skiing. Anytime I can get outside. We're in Minnesota, right? So we do a lot of winter sports, and yeah. What about you? You're totally an athlete too.
When I was a kid, I did gymnastics in junior high school, then I was a wrestler in high school.
Wait, let me stop you right there. Please do one gymnast move for me right now.
I wasn't that kind of gymnast. I wasn't a floor guy. I was on a horse.
Did you like the rings? Can you lift yourself up out of the chair? Like, I can't do it, so let's see if you can do it. Come on.
Let's see if I can do it.
Come on.
No? I think it'll be all right.
You did. Oh! Dude, you still got it.
I still got it.
Oh my God, I love it. I love it.
Ben was like, "Don't do it on that chair."
Can we please do this again tomorrow?
Yes, we have to do this regularly.
I know, this is so good. I know. What can Brian do next? Let's see. Can you get in the splits?
No, I haven't done that. I've worked on that, and then I'll stop for a couple of years, and then I'm like, I want to do the splits. I've done yoga.
Can you do like a back bend?
I can do that.
Do one. Do a back bend. Oh, yes. Okay, here we go. Back bend. Oh, I'll hold the jacket. Here we go. Holding the jacket. I'm nervous for you.
How'd this turn into me? This is so fast.
Can I hold the meteorite watch? I just want to know if I can hold the Invicta.
Oh, sure.
Okay.
So just a back bend?
Oh, I'm out the door now. Yep. Wait, are we going to need to call an ambulance, have one on call or anything?
Oh, my. All right. Tell me when you're ready. You're good. Cramp. And slick rug.
Okay. Oh, that's what you need. You did it! Woo!
All right. I think that's going to do it. We may have to have our own show at some point, Cathy.
Yeah, because we're going to have to cover what's your favorite concert next.
Exactly. That's right. We still haven't covered rock and roll.
Oh, rock and roll's the best.
Tune in next time. I'm your host, Brian Johnson. This has been Distilled, and thank you so much, Cathy Norton.
I'm so excited. Cheers.
Cheers.